So, as you know, I'm a real estate professional in San Diego, California, with a connection worldwide. I'm so excited to welcome my dear friend, my referral partner, and just a beautiful businesswoman, Stacy Corrigan, to our call today. Stacy, you're in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and you're a real estate professional there. I'm in San Diego. But tell us, you don't only serve Woonsocket, Rhode Island, you serve an entire region within there. So tell me about the area you serve.
Yep. So where I serve is called Blackstone Valley, and that covers Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. And I've got an area of about probably 30-mile radius that I serve across all those states. And it's pretty unique. Each state has its own offerings. So you're kind of learning different laws and different neighborhoods in each of the states. So you've got a broad base of buyers and sellers and people to work with and help. So it keeps us on our toes, and it's also very interesting. So tell us about your market in San Diego.
And I'm West Coast born and raised. So my market in San Diego is really fantastic because we have a big military presence here. We are sizable in terms of just everything that we're doing, with 1.4 million people, 3.4 in the county of San Diego. Lots of movement, both from Defense Department and just the movement for sun and coming into Southern California. So going back to Woonsocket in your region, you have military presence there as well.
Yeah, so we've got the Navy base in Newport, and we also have Mystic, Connecticut, which has Coast Guard, right? So we've got a good presence here. We have Hanscom Air Force Base is in my area as well, and we're very close to Boston. So there's also biotech and healthcare, and obviously Rhode Island is a very tourism-centric state. So you guys have a whole bunch of similar what would you call that? industries where you are.
We do. Yes. Here in San Diego, like I said, we have a strong biotech presence and military, the 100,000 military active duty. And that number is expected to just continue to grow from multiple bases. So we do have those two things. Also, Southern California is known for its weather, its beaches.
Yep.
And just the fantastic ability to be just 20 minutes from the ocean, the beach, the city. It's just a lovely place to live. Now, let's talk about real estate specifically. Who are you seeing that is moving into Woonsocket and these areas? And if for first-time home buyers, what's your recommendation as they're starting to build wealth through real estate? Because you have a fantastic personal story.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of people coming in here for jobs or for their college, and then getting jobs out of college, because we have so many colleges in the area. So and big colleges, right? So you've got Harvard, you've got UConn, you've got RISD in Rhode Island. So lots of good, huge names. So as far as people moving into the area, it is a huge first-time home buyer market, but also we've got our upsizers and downsizers and what have you. But as far as somebody wanting to build wealth through real estate, I have a property management company as well, but I also help a lot of investors because of that. And I am also an investor, and I moved to Boston in '95. And I ended up in Rhode Island in 2002 because I couldn't afford a house in the Boston area. I was living in Waltham. And at the time, an entry-level 3-family house, which is what I was looking for, would have cost me $450,000, and that's 20 years ago. So now I bought my first house just across the border. I could walk to Massachusetts right now because I'm that close. And in Woonsocket, I got house for $150,000. So 3-family. So my mortgage was basically free because my tenants were paying the bills pretty much. All I had to pay for was $200 a month for water, sewer. So then my honey and I, we up leveled and we bought other investment property, and now we own 30 units across 10 or 11 different buildings. I've lost track. And that's going to be our retirement plan. So once the mortgages are paid, the rents will pay for us to live, and we can't get enough of it. We absolutely love it. So it's definitely a way to build wealth through real estate.
So it sounds like by building your portfolio out, that's actually bringing you in passive income every month.
Yeah, so we're going to call it passive income, but unless you have a manager like me, it's not really passive, right? Because there is effort involved. So if you're going to self-manage your properties, then you definitely are not having passive income. But if you hire a management company, then you will have passive income.
So for the average person watching our Facebook Live today, watching this Zoom call, what would be your recommendation? Because so many people believe that it's a hard barrier of entry to begin to actually either buy their first house or expand their portfolio. So tell us about that.
So when you are a not necessarily first time home buyer, but when you're purchasing that first property, I've just coached 2 clients this way. You want to start with a 4-family because you can still purchase a 4-family as a residential property and live in it. And so you could do that for just 3.5% down. Now, keep in mind, when you buy a multifamily, you still need to have reserves of 6 months of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So that's the big nut for most people. But the good news is your retirement funds, as long as they're able to be liquidated, can count for those reserves. So as long as you have a little bit of retirement funds, most people can get into a multifamily, meet that reserve requirement, and live a 4-family. You would almost definitely live for rent free, as long as you're not overpaying for the property. And then now the bank will believe you if you say you're moving from a 4-family to a 3-family. So you can get 5 properties by moving from a 4 to a 3 to a 2 to a condo, then to a single family. Now you end up renting all of those out. You've got 4 investment properties. You live in your single family. You could do that in a matter of 5 years if you wanted. You can go from one to the next to the next. I would probably do it. Oh, you're not selling them. So yeah, there's no limit on when you can do that. The lenders just want to see you hold for 6 months before you go into the next thing.
Wow. And for the first time investor, the first time person stepping into this space, a question I hear quite often is, do I need a real estate professional? Is there any advantage to working with someone to guide you, especially through those first few transactions? Give me your thoughts on that.
I would not counsel anybody to do that alone unless you are unbelievably savvy. You've been doing the research and you've been, getting mentored in some other fashion. I worked for a construction company when I first moved to Boston, and my boss owned 63 units. Now I have an accounting background, and what I did is I saw that his property manager was keeping track of rent on Post-it notes. And I said, there's no way she knows what she's doing or who's paid rent or who hasn't. I said, you need to fire her and put me in the job. And he did. And so within a year, I turned around his income by $10,000 a month because there was a whole unit, a 10-unit building that hadn't paid rent in a year. So we evicted all those people, got new people in. I learned a skill that's still serving me today. So I'm ever so grateful for him because I learned how to be a landlord through him by helping him, but I helped him in turn. So he taught me how to be a landlord. I helped his financial situation by improving the properties. And so definitely a real estate professional is going to help you to know the neighborhoods, where the best properties are, what's overpriced, what's underpriced, what could be an opportunity. And then also, especially like me, if they have a property management background, they don't have to, or if they're investors themselves, I think those are the 2 best choices for your realtors to best guide you for investment property. If they've counseled other investors though, and they're very savvy, if they don't have their own properties, that's okay. But I think the best agents for investment property are going to own themselves and or have some management affiliations.
Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. And one thing we talk about down here in San Diego is in any market condition, in any season of life, and any period of time, there's always opportunity. So you touched on something really fantastic that I want to elaborate on. which is that opportunity, because we bought our house at a $200,000 discount in
Mm,
2008.
fantastic.
To and we're able then to sell that home, buy our
Yep,
next home, and do amazing things to just build wealth by with one house,
exactly.
and then beginning to expand our portfolio. So what are you seeing in terms of your marketplace and the fact that there's opportunity in every season?
I agree with you 100%. My brother-in-law said when we were struggling that we couldn't find a deal at one point that we were looking for. And he said there will always be deals. You know what I mean? So you might just have to look harder for them. And so you took advantage of a perfect time in the market when things were dipping pretty heavily. And that gave you a launching pad because not everybody needs to be a landlord per se to build wealth with real estate, like you were alluding to. You know, sometimes it's timing, but please don't, you know, our clients out there, don't try to time the market. Okay. There's never any better opportunity than today because typically the market goes up. 2008 was a once in 100-year event. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to see that level of dip again, but we will see some opportunities. And because there are always opportunities, there's somebody who's always going to be losing their job and possibly getting foreclosed on. You might just have to look harder for those. So get on those auction websites if you're able to handle something that needs some work, or get in touch with the local investment community so that you can get in touch with wholesalers. I have a wholesaler that feeds me deals all the time. I turn away about, you know, the majority of them, probably 22 out of 20 I probably look at, but there's people feeding you opportunities all the time if you make the right connections.
That's fantastic. And we talk about a lot in our circle the importance of an agent having connections.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I'm helping people sell in San Diego at a high,
Yep.
you know, $1 million, 1.4 million, and then take that money into a different market to
Mm.
be able to invest, let's say in Arizona or Utah or Nevada or the Mideast or even the East Coast. So tell us how important in this industry that relationships are, having a network and being connected worldwide.
It's huge. As you know, with our mastermind group, we have agents across the country that we network with. And I was receiving some leads recently, and I was able to refer to 3 of our agents in our group. And so we obviously get compensated for that, but you know, we want to share the level and quality of service that is similar to our brand and make sure that the clients we refer are receiving the same high level of care and quality of service, you know, that you and I both provide. And so we have that broad-based connection and the ability to find the right agent for the right clients. I have a client right now moving to North Carolina, and I wanted to make sure that the agent we found him suited his personality style. I think that's a huge deal because I have another client who was looking in Vermont, and he's very detail oriented. And if I just, you know, referred him to any old agent, it wouldn't have been a good fit for him. He needs somebody who's going to be thorough and give him all the details. So
And for the real estate agent that might be listening to this call today, what's your best advice to allow them to distinguish themselves from everyone else in the marketplace? Because I've heard that the average person knows 12 realtors. So, speaking to the real estate agent, what do you think is a differentiating factor to bring value to your clients and to really distinguish yourself from everyone else?
so we all say that we care, right? But I think that if there are ways that you can demonstrate that you care more than others, and I think so, I had a listing appointment yesterday, and she was all nervous because another agent was talking to her about, you better hurry up and sell because you're losing value. And so she showed her how the house went from 535 to 499 in a matter of weeks, and that just made her anxious and nervous and flustered. And so I said, you know what? If it's not the right time for you to sell, we don't need to sell your house. And so just by not pressing her was an evidence of caring about her when I didn't know her from Adam. You know what I mean? But you have to show that care in ways that show that we're not just about the dollar, that we are nurturing our clients and we want clients for life. So we want to serve you, your friends, and your family for life. And by doing that, we need to treat you like you're part of our family, probably better than our family, right?
And you're also doing something really unique that not many agents are doing. And so, talk about the client for life. What does that
Mhm.
mean in terms of communication from when they close on the house to a year down the road to 2 years down the road?
Yep. So we stay in constant contact. They're receiving nurturing mailings, handy tips. I have some cute ideas that we send them. My favorite's the poop pipe. You put a PVC pipe on your railing, and then you fill it with a bag and you cover it with a cap for your dog's poop, and then you just slide out the bag. So they get all those silly kinds of tips in their email box. And the way that we tie our clients to us through the transaction is we invest in the transaction with them. So every client is unique, and so are their needs. And so what we do is we try to ascertain what their needs are during that transaction. And usually it's about the repair time when somebody's asking for repairs. And so an example of things that we've done are, we'll replace a hot water tank for the client if it's needed. We'll do a Title V inspection, which is a septic inspection. I've done smokes for my clients. We've done trips to the dump and donation centers. And so we give back to our clients tangibly, with dollars and cents into the transaction that no other agent does at the level that we are. And so we find that that ties our clients to us because we're also giving and caring about the end result as much as they are, because this is one of the largest financial purchase of their life. And so, or transaction if they're selling. And, that needs to be handled with a lot of care. And we show them that we're in it with them.
I love that. And one thing that I love to do with myself and my team down here in San Diego is you're exactly right. And I'm just going to echo what you said. Spend the time to develop a strategy and a plan to get
Mhm.
this home sold, no matter what the marketplace looks like, and to also help my buyers and investors find that particular property. And also building on what you've built, which is having a VIP list and saying, we can really guide you throughout the transaction to achieve your goals and then continue to bring value to you in the future. And do you find that past clients, people you're working with really appreciate the fact that you're going above and beyond?
They can't say enough about it. Like I have people who are like knocking on doors themselves to say, hey, you got to use my real estate agent. She's the best. You can't get any better than her. You know what I mean? I'm sure you experience the same thing where you are, because you take such great care of your clients. And don't they just keep coming back to you and sending their friends and their family to you? Because when people feel cared for and served well and with honesty and integrity and authenticity, they want more of that. And wouldn't you say that your negotiation skills help them reap the best value for their money? So like on the selling side, don't you find that you fight for your clients hard to get those repair requests down and to get the purchase price as high as possible? And then on the buying side, trying to get them the best deal they can and get the things that they need in the transaction.
I think you're exactly right. And for example, myself, I'm a trained negotiator,
Mm-hmm.
which really is a skill that is needed among real estate agents and anyone who's going to guide you in a transaction, because I have the ability to see things that you might not normally see
Exactly.
and use those negotiation skills throughout the transaction. And I describe it to my clients as a frog jumping over the lily pads. So, in other words, that first lily pad is just our starting place, because there's going to be ups and downs during a home selling process or buying a home. So, we've reached that first lily pad, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And I got a beautiful card from one of the clients that I helped with a frog and the lily pads. And she says,
Oh,
Hannah, this really resonated with me, because this was a big transition.
Mm-hmm.
They were retiring and moving over to Idaho. And she says, "Thank you, number one, for connecting me with such a
Mm-hmm.
fabulous agent in Idaho. And number two, thank you for this analogy because it really resonated with me. It really resonated that we can get this done and then you have the results to back it up." So this has been such a delightful conversation today, Stacy. Tell people, you, for buyers especially, you have something special for them.
Yep.
And how do people reach out to you and find you and connect with you, especially for that VIP list and to just get some helpful, handy tips?
Yep. So just remember, I'm Sensational Stacy Corrigan, the Rocket from Woonsocket, super proud badass broker and founder of Peace of Mind Property Management and Real Estate Inc. And we sell real estate right here in Blackstone Valley, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. And if you go to our website at pompmre.com/buying, BUYING, we have a free download for you. It's called the Ultimate Buyer's Guide, and it's chock full, like 36 pages or something, of important information for buyers, how to step through the process. But the first and most important one is to make sure you connect with an amazing agent like Hannah or myself, and or one of our contacts across the country, depending on wherever you're going. So if you're thinking of a move cross country, make sure you talk to one of us first. And how about you, Hannah? How can people find you and what do you have to offer?
Yes. So I'm Hannah Peterson, San Diego, California. And the best way to reach me is by direct message, Facebook, Instagram. My phone number is posted. So you can send me a text and just simply say ready. And that's going to indicate to me that you're looking for a partner in San Diego or anywhere in the world. And I'm so excited to announce that I have a new partner out of Cancun.
Ooh,
I have a new partner in Portugal
nice.
and new partners throughout the world. This is just exciting because it allows each and every person to know that they have a first line,
I
which is
love it.
myself or Stacy, a first line to just simply reach out and say, ready. And
Love it.
then I'm going to give you the resources to get started no matter where you are in this world and no matter what your real estate needs are. Well, Stacy,
Awesome.
once again, this has been amazing. I'll post your information over to Facebook as well so people can
Okay.
reach out to you directly. And once again, everyone, thank you for joining us today. This
And
is one of the first of many conversations we're going to be having coast to coast, in this case, from San Diego to Woonsocket, learning something new and just leaving with optimism, knowing that in every market there's opportunity. So thanks,
yeah.
Stacy, for being on, and we will chat again soon.
Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate you and how organized you are and how awesome you are, and for being a wonderful reflection of our real estate community.
Thanks, Stacy. Love to you and your family, and have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too.